What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Turns Out Podcast. I'm your host, Leo, and today, man, I got a very special guest, my bro right here, my carnal. That's my crimey Ray, aka Cleto, known through the prison system right here in Washington State. And today, man, it's October 9th, 2023. 20 years ago, we caught our case, right? We caught our case 20 years ago.
20 years.
We just went right up there and drove up to the crime scene just to give us a little bit of reflection of how far we've come along in our lives and how that event shaped our lives, right?
Absolutely. Hey.
And I'd like to introduce yourself, homies.
Oh, yeah, so my name's Reyes. On the joint, they call me Cleto, whatnot. But this is my friend, my brother from a long time ago since we were, knee high to a grasshopper. Yeah, man, you know what I mean? I'm ready to share my story, my behalf, you know what I mean?
Because it's a different, that's why I wanted to bring them on because, you guys only hear one point of view, which was mine, the way I felt, the things I was going through in my life. And with my bro here, it was a complete opposite. You know, he grew up a lot differently than I did, and you were still there. So kind of share, homie, how was your life coming up? You know, from because this episode is called From Elementary to the Penitentiary.
Absolutely, man.
I've known my boy, man, since we were 5-6 years old. You know, and a lot. Our friendship has been, we've gone through our ups, we've gone through our downs. Plenty of times that I let him down when I should have been there for him, and we're gonna get to that. Here during this podcast. So first question, man, how did you feel, homie, going back to that night, October 9, 2003? Because another thing, man, I want you guys to understand that my memory, sometimes I smoke a lot, so my memory sometimes is very foggy, and I'm glad to have somebody here on my podcast that can kind of correct the things that I might have missed or input some of the things that happened.
Yeah, because we all got our own point of view.
So let's go back, homie, October 9th, 2003. You and Oscar.
Oh, right. Before we pulled up, so what happened, man? So what happened, right? You know what I mean? Allegedly. So, it's like any other night, you know what I mean? B-town nights, you know what I mean? We drinking, we go to school, come home, do what we do, you know what I mean? Smoke, drink. That night was a Thursday, I believe. It was a Thursday night.
Something like that.
You had just came down from Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I was drinking with my friend Oscar and another friend named Sergio. I was drinking, doing what we do. So we go and I try to find this guy at the trap house over there, up in the hills, up in the upper Bridgeport. We were already drunk when we got there, and my boy was sober. See, that's the thing, man. So that's the thing that kind of throws me off. I can get an excuse, man. I was drunk as fuck. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we went up there, knocked on the door, man, and his brother told us he wasn't there, obviously because we were drunk already and he didn't want us to have no trouble. But sure enough, man, he popped out. He popped out, and
because I heard you guys' voice, homie.
Right.
Heard you guys' voice, like, nah, that street in me, like when we talked about it on my podcast, let's go, like that's my boy.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, and we chilled there for a little bit. There was there's some females there, so it was like a normal little party night.
Yeah.
And we had just acquired a shotgun, you know what I mean, that we needed to test out. So that was the whole thing about it. I had it at my house, a shotgun. So came down from the hill, you know what I mean. I got the shotgun and hopped in my homie's little white Blazer. And it's and then from there we went up to where earlier where we went.
Yeah.
That's from there's when it happened when we got it cracking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
the person that we committed that crime on, to correct me from my story, was there was a lot more to it than him saying racial stuff.
Oh,
to us, right?
yeah. So we don't just go out there, picking on people. We against all that bully shit. But no, so this guy, man, there was a history with him. He's like 23, 24 years old, and we're teenagers, kids. And my homie has a younger sister, and I used to chill with her sister all the time, to look out for them. And this fool, he's a little weirdo, man. He would just kind of creep up and like try to get close. And one day in particular, I was gonna go home, and they didn't have nobody to walk him home. So this guy comes out the cuts, man, and says, "Hey, man, I'll walk him home for you." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? Some weird shit. You know what I mean? So then that's how I'm like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here, you fucking weirdo." You know what I mean? And so that's how the beef started. And so we would see him around, and it got to like a racist thing after that. We would see him around, we'd hit him up. We couldn't really have the chance to do what we do.
And it became a racist thing because of what he said to us at the taco truck, right?
Yeah, he called us spics, you know what I mean?
Because that's where we grew up in Bridgeport. We grew up nothing but white people and Mexicans. Right. That's pretty much was in our town, right? And there was one African American brother that was here in our town also.
Yeah.
But yeah, primarily it was just Mexican and whites. But yeah, homie. So continue your story.
Yeah. So that's how it was. I felt like like he was being a weirdo. You know what I mean? That's how the beef started with this guy, man. That night we
It's just destiny,
it just happened, man. We're gone, we're feeling good. The homie was driving, and I do remember one thing, man, that always stood out to me, man. And I remember when we seen him. I don't know if I told you this, fool, but when we seen him, I said, "Hey, fool, there goes that fool right there." You know what I mean? And we had the thing on us, and as soon as I said, "There goes that fool right there," man, the car turned off. You know what I mean? That was kind of because the car turned off, and he just pulled that motherfucker to the side, and we hopped out and did what we did. But that all stuck with me, man. That like it had to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if the car would have turned off, I don't think that we would have.
Well, the car turned off. Remember, the car turned off on our way back.
Down on the hill because so we're gonna get the car.
We're telling Oscar just leave the car, man. But as kids, obviously you're like, man, that's my mom's car. We're fucking 15. What are you gonna tell your mom?
Yeah,
I don't know where the car's at. He's been involved in a crime.
The car, as a matter of fact.
We took the car.
We pushed it out the driveway. We pushed out the driveway. But that happened, and I don't want to go over the details too much. You know what I mean? What happened. You can look it up. It is what it is.
Yeah, because I feel like when you talk about certain things, man, and you bring it into detail, like, oh well, I did this and this. Yeah, you try to. People think that's the case, but I think nowadays you can't. If you can go into somewhere, you could tell somebody a story, and they ain't gonna believe it, right? Because
it's a
story. So that was a big issue right there when I started my podcast was people thinking like, oh man, it's just a story. Right. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring on here, so you could share your point of view, and what you went through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
And what your family went through.
Yeah,
because
So that happened. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just because us being bullies, man. We had a motivation behind it. An honorable one.
And when we got arrested, what happened? You remember when they took Oscar?
Oh yeah. So
remember
So Oscar, remember homie Oscar? You know what I mean? He's a little darker skin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a little darker skin guy, shit, but a good guy, man. Shout out to the homie Oscar, man. You know what I mean? They said that there was two Hispanics and an African. You know what I mean? So not an African, a black guy, a black guy.
Yeah, African American. Yeah, they thought he was black.
Yeah, they thought he was black. You know what I mean? And I can see how that could happen because he was a little dark skinned. So we're like, hey, homie, fool, you ain't got no felonies, because me and the homie, we have felonies on our record. We already, been through the streets and whatnot. So we told me, hey, homie, you gotta go out there, homie. You only get a little slap on the wrist, bro.
Yeah.
Because they started the house, man. We got the SRT team. Yeah, all the cops from 3 counties away was Chelan County.
3 counties, yeah.
Chelan County, Canal County, and Douglas County.
Yep.
So we're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? We can just get the homie to go, And, hey, the homie did it. He said, Silas Simon, and he went. He did it, you know what I mean? But like they know us, the cops know us. So once they seen him, they knew that. Yeah, the other two were there, and obviously they know it was D-Boy and myself. So yeah, they didn't leave until they wanted us to come out, man. And all the while, we he has an older brother that was there, and we didn't want him to get in trouble, so we eventually we came out, but it was too late, man. They got all of us.
For sure.
They got all of us. They got took like just me.
Yeah, it was like 5 of us. They took that night. Yeah. They took 5 of us that night.
They took 5 of us that night, and yeah, we gave him hell though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We gave him hell. Yeah.
But when we got arrested, we didn't think it was that serious. Remember?
Yes, that's another thing, homie. Yeah, that's another thing, man. Those kids out there, man. You're sitting out there thinking it's serious. You're laughing it up. I remember, man, giving them hell, man. To be like, hey, man, fuck it. I'm cool. I thought about running because I told him I had to pee and shit.
Yeah.
He let me at the car. I thought about running. I thought it'd be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but remember we thought about running through the back door because in the trailer that I lived in. When you go out the back door, there's a cliff. It goes all the way down to the river.
Right.
And we're like, hey, well, Oscar went out, so we can just run.
Right.
But
they had it surrounded all the way around.
And then we said, well, if he goes, we all go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We couldn't leave him behind. It was something that we felt it was like, man, we can't let him go through that, and we're out here.
Yeah. Because we're honorable people. You know what I mean? But and with that, your brother. Remember, your brother had a warrant too, so we tried to save your brother too, but that did not happen.
Nah, he went crazy.
Yeah, he went crazy. But yeah, and that happened, and so yeah, we're laughing it up, man. We're on the way to the county jail. we're on the juvenile, man. This is when it got real to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're laughing it up. You know, we're going through the system. We got our first hearing in Waterville, and when I realized something was different is when they said, "Hey, come here, you guys are adults now," because we didn't even see the judge. We didn't see the automatic remand. You know?
Yeah, what I mean? We got an automatic decline.
Yeah. So what happened was they took us to the back. They said, "Oh, you guys are adults now." And you know, the juvenile system here in Washington State, they had handcuffs from the front, and they all right, they took us our handcuffs out. They put handcuffs in the back. And they put all three of us in the car. Remember, we took that ride.
See, I might have not to cut you off, but I might have when I told the story, I couldn't remember if it was in the front or in the back. But so when we turned adults, they put the handcuffs in the back. In the back. Okay.
You're adults
so
now.
That's a correction. That's why I said I bring my boy right here, because when I told my story, I remember like they took our cuffs and put them in the front, but they were in the back.
It was the back. Juveniles in the front. Okay. So and then over there in I don't know. Chelan County Jail, bro. Chelan County Jail, you got the jail on the left and the juvenile on the right. So that's when it really hit me, you know? Juveniles on the right, jails on the left, and they went shoof, and they pulled up into the county jail, man. I remember that shit opening up. And I look at the homie like, fool. Like, what's going on? Like, what the fuck? And that's when my smiles went to fucking frowns, man. That good time smile now later shit.
Yeah.
That's when it hits, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we're in and we're all in the holding tank, man. His brother's there, and another homie's there. I remember you said you wanted to go.
Yeah.
You wanted to go.
And I said it in my previous episodes. I was terrified. So my first thought process was I wanted to be close to somebody that's close to me, that knows me, that loves me, which is my brother.
He thought it was a Hilton.
Yeah. So I was like, I thought, hey man, they're gonna accommodate us because we're juveniles.
Right.
They treated us more. And I think they treated us more harder. Just to be like, nah, you motherfuckers are gonna learn a lesson. And we might as well treat you like this right now.
Yeah, scared straight shit going on.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a scared straight. But yeah, so I asked to go with my brother, and you were lucky enough to go with my brother. Yeah, I was the one.
Yeah, I got there with the homie Jerdy and the homie Junior. But and you know, we're underage, man, and they put us in the tank with everybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I guess it's illegal now, or it's been illegal.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what it is, man. But
because we were in that jail that we were in. It's not a cells. Like
no,
it's open. It's like when I went into the pod, there was bunks with no walls in between, no nothing. It was just bunks.
It's a tank.
Yeah. So
yeah, though we went up in there. The homie, him and Oscar, they went upstairs. I went on the same level. And I was happy to see the homie, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Come on, man.
And they're like, what happened? What happened? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was in the juvenile. And it didn't hit me. When it hit me, man, is when I was in jail for like 2 months, bro. Took my first plea, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so they came at you, when they came to give you your plea, they came and told you like, hey, you guys ain't, because like I said in my videos, so the whole time we're committing this crime, everything was being recorded. You know, I had a camcorder at the time. You know, as a kid, I just wanted to, I think when I look back on it, I just wanted people to recognize me for the badass that I was.
Yeah,
right?
that's what we do.
That's what I wanted to please was, hey, I'm look at the violence I can commit. I got it on video.
People respect violence. You know what I mean? Unfortunately,
that was my thought process. Obviously, as an adult, and I was so fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I can't say that it was actually stupid, man, because it's actually it's all been a learning lesson. You know, it's the way you take the things.
Absolutely.
I think that if that shit never would have, if we never recorded it, we never would have got charged. We never got convicted.
Yeah. And it would have been worse.
Yeah, because all three of us decided we're not gonna tell each other. We're just gonna write it out. We're all gonna go through what we went through. So,
right.
That's
how you do it, man. Hell yeah.
So once so you took the first plea bargain. So that meant that because when I got pulled in, my lawyer was like, well, we can't give you that much less time than your crime partner because he already took a. So you know they gave you 13 years for first degree assault, attempted robbery, possession of a firearm, drive-by shooting.
Right.
Those
are the original charges. But the reason I took the plea was because they were going to drop the three: robbery, the drive-by shooting, and the possession of a firearm.
Yeah.
They say you can drop these three or take the first degree assault. But the thing is,
what they failed to tell you was that those charges carried more time.
Yeah. Right? Well, the first degree assault's got a maximum life. You know what I mean? I had no idea what that was. I couldn't.
I don't think none of us do, man. As kids, like committing crimes like that and living that street life.
Yeah. So it sounded like a good deal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit, drop
sure.
3, take 1. Hey, you know what I mean? Let's get it. But you know, and I felt like if I took the plea, the first degree assault, my homie get the plea down. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. You guys have to plea down.
Yeah, that definitely that definitely
you know
happened.
What I mean? But yeah, you know, it was with good intentions and shit. Just I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think none of us knew, man. I think it was you know, we were afraid to admit it at the time, but it's a terrifying experience. You think we put our lives in the hands of judges, in the hands of lawyers, and they get to decide our fate. So I think that also is a traumatizing thing, man, for young people like us that grow up a certain way. It was traumatizing to me because you look at authority a certain way now.
Yes,
you know, authority to you now is something that's destructive, that's going to try to ruin your life.
Yeah.
But we fail to realize that we ourselves put ourselves in that situation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so
that's the big thing, yeah.
Once you got charged with those crimes, you got the time, you took the plea, now you're getting sent up.
Yeah.
Now you're getting sent up to prison to you're the first one out of all three of us to get sent up. So how did you feel when they came to the, you know, they don't come and tell you that county jail, they come and they just come get you 3 a.m, strip you out. Nothing, right? You know, it's inhumane.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. With the thing is that they will strip me out with a gang of motherfuckers.
Yeah, with
gang of motherfuckers, gang of people. You know what I mean?
They'll strip you out in front of adults.
Yeah,
you know, and you're a kid.
Yeah, you know, and I was like fucking 5'1", 110 pounds. I was a little ass kid, you know, with no facial hair. So yeah, man, I'm with these adults, man. You know, and that's when it hit me. I fucked up. Is when they came and got me, man. Said bye to the homie, and they had me sitting in a holding cell, and they're like, "Yeah, you're going to Shelton. You know, you're going to prison." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I got 13 years. I'm going to prison." That's when it sank in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and you know, it's like a dog. You back up in the corner, man. You know what I mean? It's gonna bite you. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. Like, hey, man, it's time for me to either, you know what I mean, get with
fight or flight.
Fight or flight, because I'm not a victim. You know, I'm not a victim. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's when it hit me the most, man. I got to Shelton. Man. Everybody else, I was in a cage in the front. I got to Shelton, and they put me in a little cage in the front when I got there, but they stripped me butt naked. And there's things called the bullpens. There's like a bunch of different cages, and all the adults went in there. So they stripped me out butt naked, and I've walked. Man, I want to say it's like half a block, man. You know what I mean?
Because these bullpen, there's like 50 in, 50 to 60.
Inmates,
yeah. Because they're all getting transferred.
On, yeah. Some are butt naked, some got the
they strip you out right in front of them, man.
So I was the first one up, man, because I was a juvenile, but I was with adults and shit. So I go up in there, I'm butt naked, man. I'm walking butt naked, embarrassed, man. You know what I mean? Embarrassed for it in front of these. They're all looking at me, man. That's not like shit. And that's traumatizing. That's traumatizing.
Come on, man. You're like an animal in a circus, man.
Yeah, homie. Come on now. So I go there, man. I take a picture of butt naked. Take the picture, you know, the mugshot. The first mugshot was butt naked. And after that, they gave me clothes and they put me in a separate cell again. And I went off to the hole. You know, because
because you were underage.
Underage, right? I guess the jail didn't care, but
the prison will though. The prison will, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's still a prison, but it's just a segregated. Yeah, man. So I was in the hole for a few weeks. No, about a week.
So you know, for people that are watching this right now,
right?
If you think about it, somebody that's 16, 17 years old, you're getting ready for proms. You're getting ready getting ready to, you know, you're getting ready for school. You're getting ready. But our experience was we're 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Instead of getting our license, we're on a chain bus to prison.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like AWAC said, man. You know what I mean?
Our education was a lot different. So it's hard for people to try to understand or try to, but I think our experience, man, how we were kids,
right?
I think a lot of young viewers will be able to relate to that, you know, to because at the end of the day, you know, let's go back a little bit. When we were on the streets before we got locked up,
yes,
I was, you know, like I said in my podcast, I was somebody that lived in a trap house. My mom, my father weren't really around. Your mom, your dad was there for you. You know, you guys, your brothers, people were. And you still chose to come around and try to help me because I was the brotherhood,
like
right?
Yeah, I seen him like a brother, man. So
and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, man, they won't do that for somebody. You know, they won't. No. And essentially, shit. I mean, we're all grown. We all take responsibility for our actions. But at the end of the day, I think that I look back at it, man, and I'm like, man, I have some type of guilt. I feel some type of guilt because it's like, bro, only time you came and really did drugs was at my house. You know, because it was a trap house. I told the story on my podcast where I was selling dope at the time. I was finally
the plate and a spoon,
and I had a whole plate full of dope.
And no food.
Nope, but I had a box of dehydrated milk.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the powder milk.
Yeah,
and my brother here fucking he's like, hey man, you don't have nothing to eat. Like, nah man, you know, like it does. People would come buy dope, but they wouldn't even care about how I was. So he came through, man. We walked up to the Quickie Mart, the little gas station we have up here, stole a pizza for me. And you know, it was all the intentions to get me fed. And he stole it. You know,
stole that. Yeah, we stole it. That was when they took your we had no furniture.
Yeah, no furniture, no nothing. You know, you were there in my story when I talk about, you know, when they first took our trailer, took everything, but you were there for the second time when we were hanging out.
Yeah,
we had people. I had
females.
Some females over.
That's traumatizing, man. Even to me, that was in my house. You know what I mean? To see that. But yeah, man. You know, I got him a little pizza, man. He had Nate. You know, just drugs and what and all that. You know.
Yeah. Because I think that's what it was, man. You know, going through all that shit, going through that at an early age, I feel like that's what we bonded off. Like, man, and that's why I tell people all the time, you don't got to go through what I went through or what I was going through for somebody to care about you, for somebody to be like, man, I feel you. 9 times out of 10, those people that are going through the same thing you are love the misery that you're in, because misery loves company.
Yeah, exactly. You know? There's no more. There's so much truth to that.
Yeah,
bro.
And instead of being like, man, even though I'm down here, I want my brother to be up here.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna try to help him achieve that. And I feel like that's that message that's lost, bro.
Oh yeah,
carnal, you know, because there's a lot of people that don't never have lived that life, and they portray that they do, you know, or they had and they lead all these other people or these other youth, the youth in the wrong direction. When others that have lived that life, and that's why we do this podcast, this episode, is there's definitely a lot of things that you can never leave behind when you live that life.
Yes,
you know, it's in you.
I don't like. Well, you know, what I always have told is when somebody says get over it. You know what I mean? Live past it, man. You know, but you know, like you said before, you live every day, every second. You know, and it's illegal now to do that to kids, to put kids in isolation like that for months, even years. You know.
And now it's become illegal. They forgot about the kids that they did. But you know, at the end of the day, too, I feel like when we say that, people will take that as like, oh, why are you guys blaming the system when you? But it's like, I'm not blaming the system. You know, I think that
no,
right? We did what we did, and we deserve to be punished for it. I just don't think that once people are really truly trying to change their life around, they don't make it any easier.
Right.
You know,
well, here's the thing: is that if I really blame the system, I wouldn't be as productive as I am now.
There you go.
Know what I mean?
So I'm sorry I cut you off, but let's keep going on your story. So when you got sent up, damn it, I just went off on a whole nother shit.
Yeah, they happen. You know what I'm saying? We got two people, man. We remember something we don't even remember, but us together, shit comes together.
Yeah, exactly, man. So when you got sent up, the first prison you hit, what was the first prison that you hit? So when you got, because we were so in my podcast, and that's another thing you're gonna correct me. I went to Green Hill. Right. I went first.
You went first.
I went first, because when we were at Green Hill, we went from YOP. So let's go back to when you went to YOP, from Shelton to YOP in Column Bay.
Okay, so YOP is a youth offender program. They have it in Column Bay. It was a special unit for us. So I went from Shelton to there. I was the first one there. You know what I mean? I was the first one
out of the three of us,
obviously. And then I was there for like a few months, man. I got comfortable. You know, I met a bunch of good people and whatnot. And then Oscar and Daniel came up together. You know what I mean? And I had the opportunity to be able to welcome them and show them the ropes and whatnot.
I remember you came to my door.
Yeah, I got back from school. A fucking bill yeah. We have school in there. We have high school in there. They put them right next door to me, man.
Yeah, we were neighbors. We were neighbors.
Right next door to me, man. Like, damn. And I think
that was a blessing, man.
It was somebody, because I would talk to him through a little outlet.
Yeah, you could so right there in those units, there's the desk. You got a desk, and right beside the desk, there's the wall. You got the outlet right there. So if you talk to the outlet, you can hear the person that's right next to your wall. Yeah. And man, who better to talk to than you know, we're going through the same thing. We're from the same town. We did the same shit. So I think it was a shoulder that we could lean on each other. You know what I'm saying?
And what makes that even a better thing is that you're around a bunch of people, man. Like we didn't grow up around black people, so there's black people there. I mean, these are mean people, you know what I mean? And around
Hawaiians,
Hawaiians, you know, Samoans, I didn't know what they were, and so it takes you out of your element, man, and it puts you in a place. That's where you really sinks in. You know what I mean? The loneliness, the being forgotten, all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's been having a brother there like D-Boy and Oscar come in, bro. That shit. Oof, it's like I could do this for years. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. You know what I mean? That's how it got. I think when we started being around each other, man, we fed off. We helped each other. You know what I mean? But in the wrong way because hey man, fuck it, let's get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna
let's be somebody. You know what I mean? And that's it. And that's how it went. You know. I always told him a story about strawberry.
Yeah.
Well, that anyways. So you know, we did a few messed up things there. We got put in the hole for investigations. You know what I mean? For little dumb shit here and there. But
YOP wasn't too bad. You know,
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
They treat us like humans there.
Yeah.
And
remember when we first got there we got there. And we got the little trays.
That was Green Hill, fool.
Yeah, when we got to Green,
we went to Green Hill and they gave us they call takeout and shit. You know, takeout. You feel me? All right, because we eat like prison food. We eat not that good food and shit. So we there and they have little trays, man. They open them up, fancy ass. Yeah, and they got good food. Juveniles, it's a juvenile facility, so they give juveniles better food. So yeah, we got treated a little better there. You know what I mean?
You got comfortable. We got comfortable. Like we weren't even doing time.
Yeah, no, it was from there to there. You know what I mean? It's like going fucking to prison to purdy. You know what I mean?
And that a couple of episodes ago, I talked about how I got stuck on Seroquel, and you were my cellie.
Oh yeah,
when I was on Seroquel.
You know, it's illegal now. Right?
It's a psychotic. It's like they give them to psychotic people.
Yeah,
and it made me like a zombie.
Yeah, that's
so we went through the whole situation, right? But at Green Hill, we were at a juvenile facility, and once you turn 18, you got to go to prison if you're tried as an adult. But they would give you extra time if you're working towards your credits to graduate.
Yeah. But you got sent out first. Or Oscar got sent out first because he graduated in YLP in Column Bay, and then the homie was next because he kept fucking up. You know what I mean? Yeah. He kept fucking up. So they sent him as soon as he turned 18. I was the last one to go. Because I stayed, I think, 4 months extra.
Yeah.
I got my little. No, I didn't even get my shit.
I think they kicked you out.
I said, I want to go. I'm tired. I don't want to be in this juvenile facility anymore. I want to go with my homies. And that's where I met. You know, that's where we all made it to Avery Heights back in 04, 05.
04, 05?
Yeah, I don't know why. I forgot what year.
Put you in M unit?
Man. Yeah.
Right, M unit?
Yeah, that's when Avery Heights was, was active. It was active. It was getting active.
Just so people understand. So when you got there, I was already there.
Yeah, I was already there, and that's
another correction that in my podcast. I said that Ray was there first, but he corrected me. Like I got there first. I had already made the decision in Shelton to be part of a certain group, to ride with a certain group, and that's where
that's where I met him. That's where I met D-Boy. That's where I met real D-Boy. You feel me? He's like, hey homie, he read the cards to me. He's like, hey bro, like here we, you got to choose a side. You know what I mean? I'm running with the people we ran with. And homie, I'm running with you, and that's how.
That's exactly what you told me too. Like it doesn't matter what side you choose, man. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. But we lean more to one side,
because that's
we grew up that side. But man, that's how I'm running with you, homie. And so from there, I met the older homies, and they approved it and whatnot. And it
definitely changed. It definitely changed because for people to understand out there that are listening, we grew up around gang members, but we didn't necessarily want to be gang members ourselves. We were maybe really early ages, 12 to 13, around there. But once we hit like 14, 15, we're just like, man, this is us. We're from where we come from is a really small town, and we take really a lot of pride in our town and where we come from because it's a very tight, close community.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of us have it tattooed on us. I got it tattooed on my forehead.
We got it.
He's got it. A lot of our homeboys got it tattooed on us. And I feel like that sense of community really, really helped us, to stay together and be like, nah, man, I can't become something in there that I wasn't on the streets.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was my thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too into politics.
Right.
Man, but I never got put on something, but I represented something, man. You know what I mean? I kept it like that because I was more respected. You know what I mean? I was like, hey man, you come here, you didn't come here to be a certain thing. You came here and you are the way you are. And that's why I feel homie, I had a lot of respect in because I didn't let
the influence
influence me. You know what I mean? Because I'm a savage anyway.
Yeah, and I think they respected that, man, because not to but like like I said, Bridgeport is a really small town, but if you go to prison and you say Bridgeport, they're gonna recognize. That's where we're from, and that's not to brag. That's not all I'm saying is, it definitely to go from just some unknown kids in that prison system to like when you mention our town, that's who they recognize. We had to go above and beyond, right? And because especially because we weren't actual gang members.
Yes,
we had to go above and beyond what they did.
You gotta prove yourself, man.
And I feel like that. And me myself personally, because me growing up, as how I grew up, I had a big problem with not being accepted or not. Like, man, why doesn't certain family members love me, or why am I not? So I kind of wanted to be accepted, so I would do anything and everything.
Right.
And even if it was to throw my life away, man.
Hey,
even
that's what we did. Hey, that's what we did, man. Yeah. And like you were saying. So I made a decision to run with the homies, you know what I mean, this organization, and man, I wanted to prove myself, man. That's why the homie Maton, he gave me the nickname Cleto, man, because I used to walk around like a badass, like a little gallo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tried to stick my hair back, and my shit wouldn't stick back.
Because it's all about confidence in there, man. How you carry yourself.
Yeah, for real, yeah. And I took that shit to the extreme, homie. I was like, little small ass fool, man, and that's what the homies call me Cleto, the rooster, you know what I mean? I was there for like 4 months, 5 months, and then like, all right, I'm gonna put in some work, you know what I mean? And cracked some little ride off, man. We and a couple of homies, and then I was like 18, almost 19. And that's when they gave me my first IMU program, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is solitary confinement, long-term segregation or isolation, and I think that's the one that really affected me, bro. You know what I mean? That's the one. Because my mind wasn't developed yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I did a 6 months, but a 6-month program. I ended up doing 9 months on that one.
And let's get this point across. When you're in there, the first, when you're not doing a program, you're just in the whole sitting on administrative segregation.
Yeah.
You pretty much got shit. So, and you didn't like to read.
I didn't know how. You didn't know how to read. Let me reiterate this. Hold on, my bad. So I mean, I was the smartest person in school, man. But we was in the hole in Wild P in Column Bay, and the homie used to read. I used to just sit there and look at the wall and shit, And that's when I read my first book, man, The Color Purple. It's called The Color Purple, man. It took me, I don't know, about a week or so, man. This is a small ass book, and that's the first time I really learned how to read. I mean, I know how to read, bro. I just didn't know how to process it.
You didn't enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it.
Like just where you read it.
To head type of shit, you feel me?
Yeah.
But so my bad, homie. I just had to.
No. But that's what I want to talk about. But that's a big something that ties into, you can look at something as a blessing and a curse, man. Like I think that what we went through was definitely something that we put ourselves through, but we can also look at it like, man, we can take this as a blessing or as a curse.
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that I've always talked about to people was the fact that you didn't know how to read.
Yeah, I didn't know how to read, man.
And it took you going to the hole and really thinking like, man, this is the things that really opens up my mind and expands my mind.
Yes,
expands your vocabulary and especially get you away from that environment, man, being in the hole like that.
Oh yeah, it takes you a whole different trip.
So you went when you went into that riot, you went from there to Monroe, and I believe that's where we met up again.
Right. No. Well, let me correct you on that one, bro. From my IMU program, I went to Walla Walla.
Okay.
Yeah, but we got there. They put us on threat assessment, man, because the prison was
cracking.
The homies were beefing with the cops back then. You know what I mean? It was outside with the cops. So they put us all on
over the cigarettes.
Oh no, over the tables.
Over the tables, right?
So in prison they have everything segregated. They try to integrate the city, and all the races were with it. Hey, we were all
we all had our own tables. Like, okay, we had tables here, tables for African Americans, for the Usos, for the natives.
Yeah, there's a place you can't walk through.
Yeah, and so the guards, the administration tried to say no. You guys are gonna sit where we tell you to sit.
Yeah,
and then that's where it started.
So that's what it was, man. And every race, man, every race, whoever had action at one of the COs, they would get the money. And so I'm thinking about it like this, man. I'm coming off. That's when I met Miggy.
Miggy.
And I met him in Shelton.
And Miggy is a guy that he got locked up when he was 14. I think he was the youngest person ever in Walla Walla State Penitentiary. him and a crime partner of his ended up murdering a whole family, 4 people.
Yeah, killer, straight killer.
Yeah, they bludgeoned the whole family to death. But
yeah, so I'm gonna sit at a table with the homie and I'm with the other homies, and I'm like, hey, this is what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's talking about what's happening in Walla Walla, and we're headed that way. He's giving us a rundown of what's going to happen. So I'm like, man, I just got a program. You know what I mean? And I'm headed right back into it. You know what I mean? It's the belly of the beast, man. That's the penitentiary, man. That's
like headquarters.
That's headquarters, man. You know what I mean? And I'm 19 at the time, I think. 19, man. It's just
young, ready to prove yourself.
Yeah, homie. And the thing is, I wasn't scared, bro. I was intimidated, but I wasn't scared like I was the first day that I hit the joint, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had that little, you know what I mean?
You already,
yeah, like, let's get it, you know what I mean? And so I got there, they put us on threat assessment, you know, because we're STG already, we're already active. And by the grace of God, man, I got lucky, man. They sent me to Monroe, or a bunch of us. They sent us to Monroe, and
that's where everybody's trying to get to, because Monroe's like more lax, more you get more freedom. That's where people want to get to.
Monroe's Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But so, and that kept on going for like a year, man. They had that place on lockdown for forever, homie. Because of that, homie, knowledge got a COS, and that's
that's a COS. A COS is pretty much superintendent, and that's knowledge ended up a homeboy of ours ended up assaulting the
it got pretty bad. So they were like, nope, you guys are done. They slammed everybody down, and I remember being on the whole tier in 4 North, man. It was nothing but homies,
Yeah.
Man. That was fun to me. I was raising my family. You know what I mean?
But see but look, homie, that's where it's like we're misery loves company, so we're all miserable.
Yes.
You know, we're all in the same situation, and at the end of the day, it's like we look back and like, fuck, man, I live like an animal, man.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that if we were to have another option besides that, we would have taken it. Anybody, I don't care how gangster you think.
Yeah. You absolutely.
You know, so I think people get lost in that. Like, you know, people get lost in the fact like, oh man, you did all this time and this and that. It's like, man, bro, I walked out with something that affected me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's gonna affect
you know. I walked out with like a cancer, you know, with something that's like you know what I'm saying.
You let it grow or not?
So anyways, man, sorry
to. So that's why, you know, I was loving it, you know what I mean, because I was with the homies. You know, I learned how to draw then.
And then that's when I showed up.
Yeah,
that's when I had first seen
you. But you went to Walla Walla, then you went to Monroe, didn't you?
No, I went straight from.
Oh, you went from Airway Heights because you got that. Okay. So I showed up in Monroe, and there was a little situation that happened. You know, there was a body involved. And I was like, "Fuck, bro, you came at the wrong time." You know what I mean? You came at the wrong time. I was all stressing out, but I was happy to see my boy. But he didn't last long, man.
No, I didn't last long.
I didn't last long. Maybe the better part of a month, but
I was in and out of the hole, man. When I met up with Ray and Monroe, it was already, I could see when I seen him, it was like, that's still my boy Ray, but I could already see the transformation. You know, from us, we're getting deeper into this politics.
We're politicking, bro.
Bald headed all the way to the fucking skin. We're hey man, whatever happens, let's go first so our name's known.
Yeah, that's one thing that always.
And so I met you one time in the library right there in Monroe. And got to see you real quick. I went to the hole because I caught a staff assault. I caught 2 assaults on an inmate. So I was already on my way when this happened.
They gave you 3. They gave you my bad. They gave you 3 in Monroe. They gave you 3 shots. Yeah. They knew they're trying to integrate us with the other
with the other side.
The ops. With the other organization. And we weren't having it because that's when the whole war started off. You know what I mean? When the whole.
That's where it started. I think in Monroe,
Because he had a homies from Walla Walla. I won't get too much into that. But, so he gave us 3 shots, you know what I mean? The homie burned his within a month.
Yeah, real quick. I was out of there, man.
And I took my time, you know what I mean? I got 3 of them, but my last one, I caught another program. This one was a year. They gave me a year program this time. And I ended up doing, I think, 13, 14 months on that one. But I opened up an IMU right there.
So, but when we were right there in Monroe,
right
when we were right there in Monroe, we had a mutual homeboy that ended up, the case is already solved, so we could talk about it. He ended up murdering somebody allegedly.
Yes, that's the body.
He ended up murdering. He ended up murdering somebody allegedly in his cell, and you were pretty much called upon to help get the body.
Well, So he's a homie and shit. You know, you gotta. Man, that one brings back memories, man. You know, I was a kid, man. I remember seeing the homie had the body. I seen the body. You know, I didn't know he was dead until fucking he shot me at nose shit. And I'm like, fuck, man, the homie's like, hey, we gotta help him. He's like, hey, fool, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? He's like, we got to help him. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck. You know, I was so into it. I was like, my mouth
because that's what's expected to you, right?
Yeah,
that's expected.
My mouth was speaking like, yeah, whatever, homie. But my mind's like, what the fuck
what am I getting into? Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And man, by the grace of God, man, if He exists, man, they were doing they happened to do a picture card count that day before lunch. After lunch, we were gonna.
And that picture card count is they have to see your ID. Yeah, you have to bring your ID.
You have physically have to give me a DOC number.
Yeah.
And because if it was gonna be lunch, it was a lockdown for lunch, before lunch, and then we were gonna help them move the body. And so they did a picture card count that day, man. They got it was almost like 4 cells down, and the guy was, hey, what's wrong? He was asleep, man. So wake him up, and I heard the cop scream.
Yeah,
he's screaming, what'd you do to him? What'd you do to him, man? And you know that all happened, and I didn't end up having to do that.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to help him,
or else we would have definitely got involved with that.
Yeah,
which would have added more time to my sentence and shit.
Man. And that guy now, man, he's you know, he done lost his mind. He does. So
he was like one of us, bro. He did it because he felt like.
And that look, the reason why I bring that up is because that's a real life situation. You know, where you could have went from you could have went from doing 13 years to helping and abating in a murder and doing for the rest of your life. And a lot of us would have done it based off just, hey man, I got to do it.
Just based off your balls, bro. It's like, hey, that's
not only based off your balls. I think it's also based off of consequences, carnal. I think it's also based off if I don't do it, what's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Exactly. And I don't think
I didn't want that.
Yeah, because we're all, you know, later on when we get into the story, we're gonna talk about why I made the decision I made.
Oh, yeah.
And it took, you know, like fuck it, it's gonna happen to me. It's gonna happen. So that happened right there, and you were willing to throw your life away.
Yeah, willing, man.
Because you were just because it went from when you got locked up, you weren't even, you know, the prison system wasn't even, then slowly but surely.
Yeah, became
growing up in there, trying to impress these other homies, older camaradas. So you went from there. Yeah, you didn't get involved in that murder, and then you went from Monroe to where?
I did a program in Monroe. We did a program there.
And remember the hole? They used to bring you out in the cages.
Oh shit! Yeah,
remember
the hole. Yeah, that was upper and lower tier.
Yeah.
Upper and lower hole. That was a cool ass hole, man. That's give you the phone in the cell.
Yeah, just give you the phone in the cell.
That was before phones, you know what I mean? Before all that shit. But anyways, yeah. So I went from there. I went from where did I go from there? Monroe. I went to shit, bro. Hold on. I went to program. I went to Walla Walla. This is when the West Campus was cracking. This is when they closed down the big one, and the homie opened up the West Complex.
Yeah, that was the West Complex.
That was 2008,
2009. Yeah.
Well, when I went 2009.
Yeah. So you went already there, and I was in. I think I was already in the hole at that time.
Yeah, when I got there, you were already. I
was already buried.
You was already in. I think you said you were in IMU South. No, IMU North. They didn't have IMU North.
I was in IMU North.
Yeah, IMU North where they keep death row at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. I mean, we'd never seen it. We would always, he was in the hole, or I was in the hole, but we were in the same prison. We would always miss each other.
And it's always hard for like co-defendants to be in the same prison. Yeah. Once the administration finds out that we committed a crime together, they don't want us together because these fuckers will influence each other to go do some other shit.
Yeah.
And so most of the time I was in the hole when I was in Walla Walla.
Yeah, yeah. When I was there for a good minute, man.
And you were in there. You know, like. You know, people know my story, but you were in there. You got really close to a lot of older dudes too. You got really because they seen something in you that they didn't really necessarily see with their younger homies.
Yeah. I think they seen the sincerity that I had, man. The sincerity I had
towards the program, towards the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. And a lot of them didn't want that from me. You know what I mean? A lot of them that were like, you know, yeah, homie, because these homies that go through, man, they get the tat in their face and all that. You can just tell the
it's for show.
Yeah, the caliber of a person, you know, it's like anybody, you gauge him. And I guess for some reason, man, they thought they really liked me, man. They would always have me. I was always like, hey, man, what's up? Do I need to do anything? That put me on the list. What's up? And they're like, no, fool, chill. And that's what saved me, bro.
Yeah, because a lot of fuckers don't like. A lot of guys won't do that, homie. Yeah. A lot of guys, like I said, man, I try to tell the viewers all the time is the fact that it looks good from the outside looking in, but once you really get in and you get involved. You really see people for what they really are, you know.
Man, dog world.
Yeah,
bro.
you start thinking to yourself, man, why am I doing all these things? I know for me, you know, I used to throw myself in the fire just because I didn't care about myself, man. Yeah. You know, I didn't love myself, I didn't respect myself.
Yeah.
And so I didn't care what happened to me.
Right.
And I think obviously prison is a perfect fucking breeding ground for creating soldiers that, hey, you don't care about yourself. Well, here, let me give you something to care about. But really, it doesn't equate to nothing.
It's man, I think that's why I got a real good friendship with the homie, and it's so strong because in there, man, I did feel the camaraderie, right?
Yeah.
But bro, I would be paranoid, man, because if I didn't miss the workout, or if I wasn't working out hard enough, or if I thought they caught me sleeping or whatnot, I would be like, hey, they're coming for me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The paranoia sinks in because we don't have no enemies there.
No,
we just have, you know, the other races, but we try to keep it cool. But we become our own enemies, man. That's when I started to realize, man, like fuck, man, you know.
People start looking for any little thing to call you up on, and you do have those. Like, say you got the shot caller, then you got his little minions, and his little minions are the ones that are like, hey, man, that guy's not. He said he was gonna do 13 burpees, but he only did 10. You know, and it snowballs. And that's why I say, like, when it comes to prison, it's the favoritism. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Like myself, you know, I wasn't a gang member, as a lot of you know. Neither is my homeboy. But I put myself out there in the fire just because, you know, I was like, I'm gonna impress these dudes.
Yeah, we got.
But in the long run, it's like I made that one decision, and we'll get to that. How it affected my boy too here. You know, going through that. But so when you were in Walla Walla in West Complex, that's around the time that I was doing the 3 years.
That's when you. That's when you. That's when you had to do that thing with the other guy. Yeah. That was cracking off. Yeah. The whole time I was there for like a year, maybe a little bit over a year. I went to Coyote Ridge after that. I went to Coyote Ridge, and it was going on. It was going, you know, it was cracking there too. But like I had already put in this little bit of work here and there, so the homies were like, you know, just go there and chill. But to anybody else that was just beginning, man, you only had a certain amount of time before you had to.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then during that time, I believe you had like 30 days to bring your paperwork. You had like 30 days to bring your paperwork because they wouldn't allow you to take your paperwork in Shelton.
They stopped doing that. They stopped letting you do that, and man, we were there. I think because I remember carrying my paperwork from Canada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was able to carry mine, you know. But so yeah, man, it was so you went from there. You went to Coyote Ridge from Walla Walla.
Yeah.
And that's where you. So where did you pick up tattooing, bro? Where was the? Because you see all this stuff right here, that's all influenced my bro's artwork.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, he did all my work on me. And was that something you picked up in prison, or was it something to get you away from?
I think I have a tattoo and I picked it up.
Because you tattooed me when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
My very first tattoo.
Yeah. No, I picked it up. I think what motivated me the most, man, is I didn't like calling home back in the day. You would have to call, and the calls were expensive, man, really expensive. So that and asking for money from my people to feed myself because the food is no good, I didn't like that. So I'm like, you know, I need to hustle. I've always been a hustler, you know what I mean? I've always done even Green Hill. I should make crosses and all that, in county judge, do all that. So I ran into. I mean, I couldn't draw for shit. I ran into homie Weddle from Florence, you know, from the Weddle, and he would tattoo and shit. You know, he would tattoo, and I would watch him, man. I just see how this would le caían las sopas como nada, you know. I'm like, well, I want that, you know what I mean? And I would go in the cell, creep in the cell with him, and I would watch him do everything. Pick up game, you know what I mean? And I started fucking people up. You know what I mean?
Crack little target practice.
Yeah, and they loved it. You know what I mean? They liked my messed up artwork, man. And ever since then, I took off with it. You know what I mean? And eventually I got pretty good with it. And that's the thing that helped me too was I was liked because I knew how to tattoo. So it's a little edge I had on
there. Yeah, and everybody going through because it's not easy, right? It's not in prison, man. A lot of people don't understand this, but people forget about you, man.
Oh yeah.
And there's been instances like things I want to touch on, you know, carnal, and I want to keep it real with the audience is the fact that there's a lot of times that I even let you down with going through the prison system, you know, with people that influence me to make certain decisions,
right?
And I made that decision, and you know, we've talked about it off camera. We've settled our differences, whatever, you know. And one thing is I've always done is apologize for my wrongs,
right?
You know, because one thing is that it's hard to find a friend that sees another friend at the bottom and is willing to go down there with him.
Yeah,
you know?
You'll see that.
When I look back, it's like, man, I should have had the strength to tell you, hey, man, like it's all right, like you're gonna help me later on in life, you know. But we're kids at the time, you know what I mean. And I think if we wouldn't have gone to prison, we would have definitely got into some more different that cost us more.
Yeah, that reintegrated to that what you said, homie. You know, like, you know, it's good that we went to prison, bro, because I mean, we were doing drugs back then. You know, I could have been a tecato, you know, like some of the people I grew up with. that didn't go to prison. They're
look
lost,
down on us.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
and they look down on us, man. Yeah.
They look down on us big time.
Man. Don't even know their name, man. You know what I mean? But
and that's a testament to the strength of that somebody has, homie, what they go through. You know, a lot of the times, a lot of people they get to a certain level and there's no point in getting back up.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, everybody has that chance. Everybody has that opportunity, man. You just wake up and you don't want to feel the same way you did the day before.
Yes.
And the only people that have power over that is ourselves, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's a big thing, man. And you know, I know that our friendship. That's why I wanted you to bring you on the podcast, tell your story.
Right.
You know, especially when I tell people, this might be jumping the gun a little bit, but when I tell people that I left the organization when I did, and I did it behind the walls, I did it because I didn't feel that I was being true to myself. And once I did leave the organization, you know what happened. I got put on the list. I got put on a hit list.
I seen that list, bro. You know what I mean? And it sucks, bro, to see your road dog because it would have fell on me.
At that time, you were at Column Bay, right? You were at the Bay when
you that was I seen your name on the list at the Bay. It came from Walla Walla. And it hurt. You know, I was butthurt. You know what I mean? I was like, man, you know what I mean? Because me being an honorable person, I have to step up and say it's my homie. I have to do it. You know what I mean? And that will fucking kill me because it's gonna have to me do it. So it's gonna have to be me that does it. You know what I mean? So,
let's elaborate on that. So if I would have showed up to the prison that you were at, you would have to be the one to take me out.
Well, I wouldn't have to, but
they would have expected.
I would have expected me to step up. Hey, homie, that's my homie. Let me clean it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me do that. You know what I mean? And that's one that I followed myself. You know what I mean? I obviously wasn't gonna do it, man, because you know I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I couldn't put hands on my brother. You know what I mean? I just did what I do to survive there. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that. I wouldn't forgive myself. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with that decision. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody thinks. It's that one tore me up. You know?
Because we have a lot of we talk to I mean, you talk to more people that live that life than I do because a lot of those people look at me like, you know, I'm garbage, right? Like, and I've always said, man, that's all right with me. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's okay with me. I know what I've done. I know what I'm about. So that's the thing, bro. Is that one thing? It's hard to find a friend like that. You know, 30 plus years we've been friends.
Oh yeah.
You know, the prison experience. I hope that people listen and because at the end of the day, wait, the main thing I want to say and get through to people is that you lived a whole different life before you got locked up.
Oh yeah.
And once you went to prison, that shit influenced your life, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and we're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do an episode 2 to this, and we're gonna explain the way prison affected my boy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you came on the podcast, homie. And
I'll share some more. I want to share some more too.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. This is just something to introduce you guys to my boy here. He's gonna be a regular. I'm thinking about doing an episode every weekend with my boy here. And I thank you guys for tuning in, man, and stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by.